Hi guys, may the peace and blessing of Allah be upon you all. In the previous lesson we learned how to solve the quadratic equation algebraically by factoring. And today we'll continue learning the same topic to enhance our ability to solve some more complicated questions. So stick around and keep watching. If f of x is equal to x squared plus bx plus c, x is equal to 2 is a root of the equation, f of x is equal to 0, then f of x is equal to 2. So here we know that the root of the equation means the number or the value that satisfies the equation. And here the equation is equal to 0 because he mentioned that f of x is equal to 0. So of course f of 2 is equal to 0. If x is equal to 3 is a root of the equation, x squared plus mx is equal to 3, then what is the value of m? You know, the root of the equation means the value or the number that satisfies the equation. So you can substitute x with 3, which is the root of the equation. So 3 to the power of 2 plus m times 3 is equal to 3. 3 to the power of 2 is 9, plus m times 3 is 3m is equal to 3. Moving 9 to the other side in the opposite sign, so 3m is equal to 3 minus 9, which is negative 6. And you have a coefficient of 3 instead of, or in front of m, so dividing both sides by 3. So 3m divided by 3 is m, and negative 6 divided by 3 is negative 2. So the value of m is equal to negative 2. If one of the roots of the equation x squared minus 16 is equal to 0 is 4, then the other root is, here we can factor the expression on the left hand side or moving negative 16 to the other side, as long as we have just x term in the equation. So moving negative 16 to the other side, we get x squared is equal to 16, and to get rid of the power 2, we can take in the square root of both sides. So the square root of x squared is equal to positive or negative the square root of 16. And positive or negative because we have an even number of the power. So 2 and the square root cancel each other out. So we have left with x is equal to positive or negative 4. So the solution set is 4 and negative 4. But he mentioned that 4 is one factor. So the other factor would be negative 4. If the sum of the whole consecutive numbers, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus until you reach n, is given by the relation s is equal to n over 2 multiplied by 1 plus n, how many whole consecutive numbers starting from the number 1 and their sum equals 78? S here means the sum, or stands for the sum, and n stands for the number of terms. So he said that the sum, or their sum, is equal to 78. So you can substitute s with 78. So instead of writing s, you write down 78 and complete the equation. So 78 is equal to n over 2 times 1 plus n. And we need to make an amendment here in this equation by multiplying both sides by 2 to get rid of the denominator here, because we have 2 here in the denominator. So multiplying by 2, you will get rid of this 2. So 78 times 2 is 156 is equal to, and 2 and 2 cancel each other out, so you have left with n times 1 plus n. Just a little amendment here to distribute n into 1 plus n. So n times 1 is n, and n times n is n squared, is equal to the other side is 156. And to factor this expression, or to factor this equation, you have to get rid of 156 and the other side to make the equation equal 0. So n plus n squared, which is n squared plus n, minus 156 is equal to 0. Now, looking for two numbers, multiply to negative 156 and add to 1, you can see that negative 156 is factored as 12 times negative 13, or negative 12 times positive 13. But 12 minus 13 doesn't work because their sum is not equal to 1. Their sum is equal to negative 1. So the answer, or the factors, are negative 12 and 13. Their sum is equal to 1. So n plus 13 is the first factor, and n minus 12 is the second factor, is equal to 0. Their multiplying is equal to 0. So n plus 13 is equal to 0, or n minus 12 is equal to 0. Moving 13 to the other side, n is equal to negative 13. But this answer is rejected because he just needs the number of the terms. So the number of the terms will be positive. The number of the terms which is starting from the number 1 until you reach n. And the second factor, n minus 12, is equal to 0, moving negative 12 to the other side, having n is equal to 12. So n is equal to 12. This is the answer. If y minus 4 all to the power of 2 is equal to 36, y is smaller than 0, then what is the value of y plus 4? Here there is no need to expand the expression on the left-hand side, as long as you can take the square root of each side. Taking the square root of each side, you get y minus 4, because you get rid of 2 and the square root of 2 and the square root cancel each other out, so you have y minus 4 on the left-hand side. And positive or negative is square root of 36, because you have an even number. The power of 2 is even. So positive or negative 6. So either y minus 4 is equal to positive 6, or y minus 4 is equal to negative 6. And y minus 4 is equal to 6, moving negative 4 to the other side in the opposite sign, you get y is equal to 6 plus 4, which is equal to 10. But remember, the condition says y is smaller than 0. And y smaller than 0 means y is negative, it's not positive. So here you have y is equal to 10, which is positive. So this number or this value is rejected. And on the other side, you have y minus 4 is equal to negative 6. Moving negative 4 to the other side in the opposite sign, you get y is equal to negative 6 plus 4, which is equal to negative 2. And this number is accepted as long as y is negative. And the question is, what is the value of y plus 4? Substituting y with negative 2, you get negative 2 plus 4 is equal to 2. If x is equal to 4 is one of the roots of the equation x squared plus mx is equal to 4, then, and we have multiple choices here, m is equal to negative 3, or m is an even number, or 1 minus m is a perfect square, or a and c are both right. Back to the question, he mentioned that x is equal to 4 is one of the roots, and that means 4 satisfies the equation. I mean that we can substitute x with 4 in the equation. So 4 to the power of 2 plus m times 4 is equal to 4. 4 to the power of 2 is 16, plus m times 4 is 4m, is equal to 4. Now you can move 16 to the other side in the opposite sign. You get 4m is equal to 4 minus 16. And 4 minus 16 is negative 12. And the coefficient is 4, so you will divide both sides by 4. So 4m divided by 4 is m. 4 and 4 cancel each other out. And negative 12 divided by 4 is negative 3. So m is equal to negative 3. So back to the multiple choices. We have already m is equal to negative 3, but you can take a look. You can take a look at the multiple choices, all the multiple choices. M is an even number, and that doesn't work here because m is equal to negative 3. It's not even number. And 1 minus m is a perfect square. You can substitute m with negative 3. So 1 minus negative 3, which is 1 plus 3. Negative negative means plus. And 1 plus 3 is equal to 4. and that is already a perfect square because 4 can written as 2 to the power of 2, or a perfect square means you have a square root for this number, and the square root of 4 is 2. So the answer is A and C are both right. D. A rectangular piece of land whose dimensions 6 and 9 meters. It's needed to double its area by increasing each dimension by the same length. Then the increased length is equal to how many meters? Alright, so we have a rectangle here, and the dimensions are 9 and 6. And the area, of course, is equal to 54. The area means the multiplication of the dimensions. And then he said that it's needed to double its area by increasing each dimensions by the same length. So we will increase 9 by amount of, let's suppose it's x, so 9 plus x. And we will also increase 6 by another amount, or the same amount, because he said that by the same length, so 6 plus x. And of course, if you double 54, you get 108. So the area now is 108. Of course, you have the dimensions 9 plus x and 6 plus x, and their multiplication should be 108. So the first factor is x plus 6, and the second factor, or the second dimension, is x plus 9, and their multiplication should be 108. Now you can expand the expression on the left, the first term by the first term. X times x is x squared, and the last term by the last term. 6 times 9 is 54. And the inner terms, which are 6 and x, 6 times x is 6x, and the outer terms, which are x and 9, so x times 9 is 9x, and the other side is equal to 108. Now you have like terms, 6x plus 9x is 15x, so x squared plus 15x is plus 54, and moving 108 to the other side to make the equation equal 0. So it will be easier to factor it. So minus 108 is equal to 0. And also you have 54 minus 108 like terms. These are numbers. So x squared plus 15x minus 54, because 54 minus 108 is negative 54, is equal to 0. Now you can factor the expression, looking for two numbers, multiply to negative 54 and add to 15. You can make a table to get negative 54. Make sure that one number is positive and the other is negative, so that their multiplication is negative. So you have 1 and negative 54, negative 1 and positive 54, positive 2 and negative 27, negative 2 and positive 27, positive 3 and negative 18, and negative 3 and positive 18. And then you will figure out that negative 3 plus 15, or plus 18, sorry, negative 3 plus 18 is equal to 15, which is the coefficient of the middle term. Now the first factor is x minus 3, and the second factor is x plus 18, and their multiplication is equal to 0. Now either x minus 3 is equal to 0, or x plus 18 is equal to 0. Here in x minus 3 is equal to 0, moving negative 3 to the other side, you get x is equal to 3. And here x plus 18 is equal to 0, moving 18 to the other side in the opposite sign, you get x is equal to negative 18. And this value is rejected. Why? Because if you substitute x with negative 18 in the dimensions, you get 6 minus 18 and 9 minus 18. And in both cases, you get negative number, and the dimension should be positive number. So now the increased length is equal to 3. If f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx plus c, and f of 0 is equal to negative 3, find the value of each of a, b, and c if the roots of the equation f of x is equal to 0 are 3 and negative 1/2. All right. So here we have given information that f of 0 is equal to negative 3. And that means if you substituted x with 0, you get negative 3. The function will be negative 3. So substituting x with 0, a times 0 to the power of 2, which is 0, plus b times 0, which is 0, plus c is equal to negative 3. So here we deducted that c is equal to negative 3. All right. That is the first required in the question. And back to the question, and back to the roots of the equation, he mentioned that the roots are 3 and negative 1/2 that make f of x is equal to 0. And that means f of 3 is equal to 0, and f of negative 1/2 is equal to 0, because the root means the value that satisfies the equation. And the equation, which is f of x is equal to 0. So substituting x with 3 in the function, which is f of x is equal to ax squared plus bx minus 3, because you already have c here. C is negative 3. So 3 to the power of 2 times a, which is 9a, plus b times 3, which is 3b, minus 3 is equal to 0. And on the other side, f of negative 1/2 is equal to 0, substituting x with negative 1/2 in the function. So negative 1/2 all to the power of 2, which is 1 over 4, times a, which is 1 over 4a, plus b times x, and x here is negative 1/2. So negative 1/2 times b is negative 1/2 b, minus 3 is equal to 0. Here on the right, or on the left, I mean, on the left-hand side, 9a plus 3b minus 3 is equal to 0. Just to simplify the equation, you can just divide by 3, because all the coefficients are divisible by 3. So 9a divided by 3 is 3a, plus 3b divided by 3 is b, minus 3 divided by 3 is negative 1, and 0 also divided by 3 is 0. And we can name that equation the equation number 1. And here, 1 over 4a minus 1 over 2b minus 3 is equal to 0. Just to get rid of the denominators, you can multiply by 4. So 4 times 1 over 4a is a, and negative 1/2 times 4 is negative 2b, and negative 3 times 4 is negative 12, is equal to 0 times 4 is 0 as well. And we can name that equation the equation number 2. Now we have two equations. 3a plus b minus 1 is equal to 0, and a minus 2b minus 12 is equal to 0. And to solve these equations, we have to get rid of one variable, a or b. And to do that, we can multiply the first equation by 2. So the coefficient of b will be 2 in the first equation, and the coefficient of b in the second equation will be negative 2. So they will cancel each other out. So 3a times 2 is 6a, plus b times 2 is 2b, and negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 is equal to 0 times 2, which is 0. And keep the other equation, or the second equation, as it is. A minus 2b minus 12 is equal to 0. Now, if you added the two equations, you get 6a plus a is 7a, and 2b and negative 2b cancel each other out. So you have negative 2 minus 12, which is negative 14, is equal to 0 plus 0 is 0. Now we have 7a is equal to moving negative 14 to the other side, which is 14. And the coefficient is 7, so you can divide by 7. So 7a divided by 7 is a, and 14 divided by 7 is 2. Now you have a. A is equal to 2. So back to the equation number 1, you can substitute a with 2 to get b, right? So 3 times a, which is 2, 3 times 2, plus b minus 1 is equal to 0. By the way, you can go back to the equation number 2. Either will be good. So here, 6 plus b minus 1 is equal to 0. And 6 minus 1 is 5, so b plus 5 is equal to 0. And moving 5 to the other side in the opposite sign, you get b is equal to negative 5. Now we have a is equal to 2, b is equal to negative 5, c is equal to negative 3. Alright, let's just call it a day. I hope today's video was advantageous. Till we meet again, your thoughts are more than welcome. If you have a question, don't forget to put it in the comments below. See you later.